Investigators in Atlanta have always known who shot Diane McIver in September of 2016, and so did she.
Diane said, Tex, you shot me.
She was shot by her husband, Tex McIver, and she knew it was him because she handed him the gun. Beginning August 22nd, join me for Intent, the Tex McIver case, Season 2 of the hit podcast, The Officer's Wife.
Coming up.
For friends to hear that this had happened, a lot of them were shocked and taken back and just never anticipated that May 27th would have happened.
For Vault Studios, I'm Will Johnson. You're listening to The Daily Crime. In Florida, the state attorney is now seeking the death penalty for a man accused of murdering a teacher. 43-year-old Kay Baker was killed in May after investigators said her boyfriend, Matthew Terry, stabbed her multiple times.
Hillsborough County deputies found Kay with severe upper body trauma. Investigators described the crime scene here in Lithia as horrific.
Of all ways to go, that is like the most horrific thing, and I can only imagine what she was thinking. She just radiated kindness and gentleness and sweetness. She was the sweetest person I have ever met. She's the person that you hope it lives next door to you.
I'm joined now by 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Shannon Clowe. Shannon, thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shannon, before we get into this case and where things stand today, let's talk a little bit about the victim in this case. She was a 43-year-old math teacher, Kay Baker. Tell us what we know about her.
Yeah, so Kay Baker, she was living here in the Tampa Bay area, a little bit on the outskirts in a town called Lithia. So if you're not from the Tampa Bay area, probably haven't heard of it. 43 years old, an elementary school math teacher, someone that friends and family will describe as the kind of woman who would do anything for anyone. She was a mother. She was really loved by so many other teachers, talking about her and just having nothing but amazing things to say.
She was always there to make you smile. She was always willing to help out if you needed something. If she had it, it's yours. The person that would literally take her last dollar and give it to you if you needed it.
Shannon, she was found tragically stabbed to death back in May of this year. Tell us what we know about how she was found and the investigation.
Yeah, so May 27th, investigators can only describe that crime scene as horrific. At first, they were saying, it was a brutal murder. And we have now learned that Kay was found stabbed to death after she tried running away from her boyfriend, Matthew Terry. He is accused of brutally murdering her, stabbing her to death. And what investigators just say was just a horrific crime scene to have to deal with.
Shannon, do we know anything from investigators about what might have led up to her murder?
The details on that right now are very limited. They just recently released how she was, stabbed multiple times. But as for, what kind of argument may have happened, the relationship between the two, it's all just kind of friends and families and ex-girlfriends chiming in.
As time has gone by, we have learned a little bit more about the suspect in this case. First of all, how did police get to him? How soon was he arrested after her murder?
He was arrested very soon because right away they were able to know that he was there when this happened. He apparently ran away and they were able to find him. And they were able to connect it very quickly. And then he has a criminal history. Just 5 months before this, he was released from jail in Michigan. So his criminal history here really kind of aligns with what happened. And it appears that he went to jail for doing something very similar, not killing someone, but stabbing an ex-girlfriend in the past.
And I believe your station has actually spoken to another one of his past girlfriends. Is that right?
Yeah, her name's Michelle Rogers. I talked to her earlier in the week, and she's speaking out because she says that she's scared this is just going to continue happening, because in her case, she tells me that Terry stabbed her multiple times, nearly killing her. We know she was in the hospital for a long time recovering. And then he got a lesser charge and he got released from jail just after 3 years. That's when he moved here to Florida. And she says almost repeated, just the same thing, but this time actually took someone's life.
When I found out about what happened to Miss Kay Baker, my heart kind of fell to the floor. I know what happened to me, and I don't want it to happen to anybody else. If you are in that type of relationship, that you have to get out and you have to get help. I need to finally see justice for myself, and I need to now get justice for a woman that should still be here.
Shannon, over the past few weeks, I believe, there have been some back and forth about the penalty he might face if convicted. Can you talk about that and whether the death penalty is on the table at this point?
Yeah, so as it stands right now, the death penalty is on the table. What happened here is we now have suspended Hillsborough State Attorney Andrew Warren, recently suspended, but before, he was not seeking the death penalty to what he says Kay's family didn't want it because they wanted this case to move fast through the court system. And really, at the end of the day, they want Matthew Terry to spend his life in jail. So they thought by not seeking the death penalty, that would happen. Now we have a new state attorney for Hillsborough County, and she is seeking the death penalty for Matthew Terry. The big thing here is, especially for Rogers, they don't want him ever getting out of jail or having that possibility. And they don't want what happened to Kay to happen to anyone else.
The previous state attorney, as you said, had spoken to her family and they wanted him to be behind bars. This is somewhat of an odd situation, it sounds like, that if the family was hoping for that. But nevertheless, it sounds like the death penalty will be what this new state's attorney is going after.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. The death penalty is definitely what they're seeking at this point. With the new state attorney in that role, this is all recent and changing. So it'll be interesting to see if, there is a change in position, if there's a change in the death penalty. But I do know at this point, Kay's family has not commented on the death penalty. But Michelle Rogers, who's that ex-girlfriend from Michigan, who she says she was almost killed by Terry, she says she doesn't have an opinion on the death penalty, but she does believe in this case it should be on the table for the jury to decide.
What's next for Matthew Terry in this case?
So now we're just awaiting for his next court date, which should be coming up here, I believe, in a couple weeks. And then from there, it's going to go through the court system. We'll likely see a trial, and we'll see if a jury wants to see if he should spend his life in jail or if he should be sentenced to death.
And in the meantime, you've got family and friends of Kay Baker mourning her loss, remembering who she was.
Yeah, and I can tell you I've reached out to them. I've been in touch with a couple of her friends, and at this point, it's just too difficult for them to chime in or talk about the story when Terry is being brought up because it's so fresh. I mean, it just happened in May, and everyone was taken by surprise because even talking to his ex-girlfriend, she says Terry is the kind of guy, he taught kids hockey. He's so friendly. He's so nice. He really kind of gets along with so many people. So for friends to hear that this had happened, a lot of them were shocked and taken back and just never anticipated that May 27th would have happened.
Shannon Clowe at 10 Tampa Bay, we appreciate your time. Thanks for talking to us.
You got it.
Thanks for listening to The Daily Crime. Be sure to check out our new show, Intent, the Tex McIver Case, available wherever you listen to podcasts. For The Daily Crime, I'm Will Johnson.